My name's Kip Rondy. Becky and I own Green Edge Gardens. We have a CSA, and we sell in Athens, Belpre, and Columbus. My land is 120 acres. It's rolling hills. We supply fresh vegetables to someplace in the neighborhood of 200 families. And then again, we're next to probably the school in Amesville. We're the largest employer in our township for sure. I was born into an Italian family. My grandparents all came over from Italy. I came from an industrial town of Barberton, Ohio, a blue-collar town. I was attending graduate school at Kent State University, and in 72, 73, I decided to leave graduate school and got a job on a garbage truck, my first environmental action, trying to clean up the city of Kent. And then saved that money and was able to buy a farm in West Virginia. For $4,700, we got 40 acres. And lived there for 10 years. When I was in West Virginia, and I was a paralegal, and my client came to me one day and he said, "My water out of my sink is running black." And what they were doing at that point in time, according to the gas company, they were just adding soap and injecting it down the wells and pushing all the oil into one central well. And this was probably some precursor of actual fracking, but it was essentially the same thing. Mr. Brown died of stomach cancer a year later. His family and his children got precious little. And when you watch a guy come into your office and you watch him fade away, it changes your mind about some things. And then it comes back to what is important. What is happiness? When is it time to fight? Look at the tobacco situation. We'll compare that to the fracking thing. 10 years at least before it finally came to a foregone conclusion: tobacco causes cancer. Do we need to do that with this process? Do we need to take that long and have the aquifer destroyed? Does this generation have that right to take that away from future generations? And the aquifer is not going to be cleaned up. The technology does not exist to really clean those aquifers like that. We were blocking access to the injection well. And there was 8 of us that had decided that we would block the roads, physically block the road. The sheriff's department was very respectful of us, and perhaps they might have a somewhat understanding, whether they agree or not with us, that this was important to society at large. Even if they didn't agree with us, it was so much like how community should be. It should encourage expression. It should encourage dissent, because nobody has all the answers. My side doesn't have all the answers. Your side doesn't have all the answers. We have to explore this issue together and come together and build what's best for the community. And that can only be done by us who live here. We can't have K&H, Peabody Coal, Columbia Gas coming in and telling us how we should live. We as a community have to decide that. We have the most at stake here. It's our obligation to those who come after us. So that's what's really important there. Community is based on local economy. Is a big part of community, because you have control. We have control. I have control of my farm. It's a local economy, and my vested interests are in that farm, and keeping that area healthy, and that is, I would hope, a good thing for all my neighbors surrounding me. That is in their vested interest too. What's really bothers me about this on a state level and on a national level, there's no plans for changing anything else. We're just going to do this until this runs out. It'll be business as usual for the next 20 years or 25 years. If we were rebuilding our grids, if we were building solar cells like crazy, solar programs have been cut. They've been cut. They've been slashed. You can't. There's no assistance on building solar programs. Well, you'd say, well, that's how it should be. Well, excuse me. The grid wasn't built by AEP. It was built by the government, and a lot of tax dollars were in that. The railroads weren't built by the Baltimore and Ohio. They were built by the government and land grants and many things like that. And so there is precedent for building alternative technologies, for the new evolving technologies to be helped and to really get them out there and get them developed and get them online and get them going. But we haven't even scratched the surface there. We haven't even scratched the surface. So this really needs to be done. So until that part of the discussion really takes place, until that is really changed, then I'm going to keep beating the bush and trying to get folks to see that has to be done. I think the most important part of this protest is trying to build community and get community to understand that we do have control, we do have power. All we have to do is take it.